January 26th, 2021. We'll begin with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a motion for me to chair the meeting.
I'll make a motion that Trustee Anderson chair the meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please. Diane, can you do roll call?
Yes.
Okay.
Brockman,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Kirkland. Yes. Anderson
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor Chapman's going to be, he's out of town tonight, so I'll be chairing the meeting this evening. I got to say, I'm glad we're back in live person. It's a lot better to be here. I think the virtual meetings, they have their place, but they're still not the same as being here. Anyway, is there any citizens that would like to address the village board? No? Okay. Well, let me back up. Who do we have out on the wire, on the phone? Anybody? Staff?
Ann's here.
Yeah, okay.
Dave Silverman.
John's here.
Okay. Anybody else?
Silverman's here.
Gotcha, Dave. Any citizens? No? Okay. And there's no citizens that want to address the board tonight?
Dan, police officer Kim Googler's online.
Oh, is she? Okay, I didn't hear her. Kim, you there? Okay. All right. Not there, Kim?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Hang in there. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Number one is approval of the regular meeting minutes from December 8th, 2020. Approval of the regular meeting minutes from January 12th, 2021. Approval in accounts payable in the amount of $334,903.62. Approval of the payment in the amount of $122,085.64 to Hare Construction, Inc. for work completed in the 2020 sewer rehab. Item 5, approval of a final payment in the amount of $48,309.57 to PT Farrow Construction, 2020 MFT street improvements. 6 is approval of a grant payment at number 2 in the amount of $34,583.05 to Shorewood Cares Small Business Relief Program recipients. 7, approval of the payment in the amount of $12,275.83 to 2020 Will County Governmental League dues. And finally, number 8, approval of payment in the amount of $37,750 to Adler Roofing and Sheet Metal, Inc. for work completed on the police department's roof. Now, does any trustee would like to discuss any of these agenda items or remove anything and talk about it?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, Diane.
Luciano,
Yes.
Kirkland. Yes. Anderson,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
and Brockman.
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda is approved. And now we've got the great honor of honoring Officer Juggler for 4 years, 23 years? I lost my sheet here, guys.
21.
21, okay. Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
Hang on. I'm going to read a resolution here.
want mine, Dan?
Yeah, you got it, thank you. Okay.
Oh.
I wasn't, all right, Kim, 21 years, man, that has gone by fast, huh?
Like in a blink.
Yeah, and I know you spent a lot of time over there at the schools with the DARE program. And,
Yeah, I said I never worked a day in my life. I loved every minute.
Yeah, well, that's good, when you can say that. Well, anyway, I'm going to,
Yes.
oh, there, hi, there she is, okay. All right, I'm going to read this resolution. Whereas the Village of Shorewood has had the good fortune to have been served for 21 years by Police Officer Kim Gugler as kind, caring, dependable, and honest employee. And whereas the Village of Shorewood does hereby find and determine that Officer Gugler services over the last 21 years in Shorewood Police Department have been invaluable to the police department and the village. And whereas Officer Gugler also served as the Village Shorewood Dare Officer at all local elementary schools, teaching and mentoring an entire generation of students making sound, healthy life choices. She served as president of the Illinois Dare Officers Association. She was instrumental in the resurrection of the Dare Officer training in Illinois, and for the countless other contributions she awarded with Dare Officer of the Year, awarded by Dare America in 2019. And whereas Kim volunteered many hours to the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics, the Will County Big Brothers Big Sisters Bowl for Kids' Sake, and the founding force behind the Shorewood Police Shop with a Cop, enhancing the overall spirit and culture of the village. And whereas it is hereby found and determined by the Village of Shorewood that Officer Gugler will or may succeed, but she can never be replaced. Whereas it is hereby deemed advisable, necessary, and in the best interest of the village and the President and Board of Trustees express their appreciation and deep gratitude for the service and efforts of Officer Kim Gugler. In her 21 years with the village, and express the best wishes for her retirement. Now there it be resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, that Kim Gugler is hereby recognized and heralded for her services of the Village of Shorewood from October 1, 1999 through January 2nd, 2021. Be it further resolved that Kim Gugler shall carry with her the blessing and gratitude this village has all residents wherever she may travel. May it be further resolved that the resolution upon adoption be spread in full upon the records of the Village of Shorewood, and the clerk in the village is hereby directed to deliver Kim Gugler a signed copy thereof. Approved today, January 26th, 2021. Kim, that's a lot there to say, but I'll tell you what, I hate to see you go. Oh, you're muted.
We can't hear you, Kim.
She's muted.
You're
You're
muted.
muted. You're muted.
Oh, am I
There you
better
go.
now?
Now we got you.
I said I was really trying to put it out 3 or 4 more years, but Will County just kind of lined up perfectly for me, so.
And those who don't know, you're at the courthouse with the sheriff's office?
Yeah,
And what are you, doing security there?
right. I had 1 day retirement in between.
Oh,
Are you working 40 hours down there?
Yeah,
Holy man. Well, that's some retirement, huh?
right. But, you know, I just feel like coming to Shorewood, I got a golden ticket, and I can't thank the board, the entire village, the whole police department, everybody in the village. It's just always be in my heart forever. I can't thank you guys enough.
Thanks. And thanks for your service.
Thank you.
And we're gonna miss you.
I'll try to pop in here and there.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you.
You.
thanks, Kim.
Can I get a motion to approve this resolution?
Make the motion.
Second.
All right. Diane, roll call, please.
Warren, DeBold,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
and Brockman.
All right, the resolution.
Good
is
job,
adopted.
Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, item 2, consideration for approval of ordinance repealing ordinance number 20-1999, entitled an ordinance of the Village of Shorewood establishing closing hours for certain classes of liquor licenses in conformance of the executive order of the governor of the state of Illinois. Real quick, this is the ordinance that we put in place in the beginning of December to close the bars at 11 o'clock. because they were not social distancing and they were overcrowding their facilities. But with the easing of the restrictions by the governor, it's time for us to repeal this, take it off our books, and let them go back to their normal hours. I think it's a wonderful thing that people can get their businesses back open and running, something that needs to be done, and I just hope that they keep the social distancing and they keep their patrons, the people coming in, to a minimum, and I believe it's 25%, is that right, Chief? Yep. Because we don't want to go back and shut them down again. You know, that's the last thing we want to do is keep them closed. So I hope they're listening and they'll keep, you know, do what they got to do to keep people safe in there and keep their doors open. So does anybody have any comments or questions on this?
Yeah, I had one comment on, that I wanted to ask the chief. It's 25%, or 25 people, isn't it? So in a place that has several rooms, how does that work? Is it 25 people a room? Or 25 people
Per room,
per room? That's what I'm asking.
yeah.
It's per room.
I thought what he said, and when you looked at it, was 25 people or 25%. But, you know, I just wanted to make sure.
Dave just said, per room.
Dave just said per room.
Per room.
Yeah.
Did that.
So with the bigger the room, I guess, how does that calculated, Chief?
I'm pulling it up right now. It'll be a bullet point.
Just want to clarify it for them so they know.
Limited to the lesser of 25 guests or 25 capacity per room.
Well, that's kind of odd, though, or that doesn't make any sense, just because if you go to Scooters, for instance, they've got that big dining room, and
25.
that you could put probably 100 in there and be okay.
25 people.
Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't make,
25 people.
compute to me, but,
Did any of it make sense?
yeah, well. All right.
I have a couple comments. So I just want to make sure that we're all clear on this, because I have some concerns. So in November, when we went to Tier 2, at which time the governor put out his executive order, we did nothing. But then in December, we decided to adopt this ordinance for the health, safety, and welfare of our residents. Okay? So then we decided we're going to follow the governor's orders. Now, we decide to go again. Now, if we remove this, then we're saying we're going against the governor's executive order. I'm not real comfortable with that. I'm just saying, this is just my opinion. So we're saying, no, now we're not going to follow the rules or follow what the governor's telling us to do. And actually, based on current projections, if we continue trending in a positive manner, which hopefully we will, we'll be moving to phase 4 within a week or two anyway. And then it will be a different set of restrictions. When we adopted this ordinance, we said we wouldn't have to do anything else with it until, at which time the tiers changed, then it would just automatically go away. But now we're rescinding it just a couple weeks later. So just personally, I'm uncomfortable with this. And I just want to put that out there. I don't want anybody to think that I'm not pro small business or not excited to get the bars up and going again. It's not that. It's that I have a problem going against the executive order. After we did nothing, then we did something, and now we're saying, nah, never mind. I'm uncomfortable with it.
I just want to comment real quick and regarding that ordinance 20-1999, that was an enforcement of the closing hours. That's what that was geared at.
Right.
I understand.
That was part of his order.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But ordinance 20-1999 was the enforcement of Tier 3 mitigation closing hours.
Right.
So by
For the health,
repealing-
safety, and welfare of our residents.
I understand.
I'm just quoting the ordinance.
Agreed, agreed. I know that was the key factor in that regard to helping
Right, I
enforce their
understand
closing
that.
hours.
But the problem was the overcrowding that they had after 11 o'clock. And, you know, I don't think anybody, well, I shouldn't say anybody, I don't know how many municipalities or counties enforced any rules. I heard or seen a lot of restaurants that were just open and disregarded the governor's rules. And from what I have heard and seen of different communities, not just Shorewood, nobody was really enforcing it either.
Right, and we didn't either, but then when we do, and now we're backtracking and,
Well, but this is a good thing for our small businesses. I mean, the governor and I'm, you know, we were at tier 3 and then he jumped over 2 right down to 1. Is that wrong or right? I
oh,
mean,
that's right.
you know, the mayor of Chicago was, you know, pleading with him to change, and I guess she got his attention maybe, and he did it for the whole state, or most of the state, and the metrics came in the right order, or right, if you met it, which Will County did. So, I mean,
This tier is still 11 o'clock, right?
Correct. The tier that we're in now is still 11 o'clock.
Right.
Yes.
Well, what do we change? This ordinance is changing it back to the 1 o'clock, right?
it goes back,
To whatever, 2
no,
o'clock.
go ahead, chief. 2 o'clock, yeah.
If we
No, I think
rescind
we-
this, if
yeah.
we rescind this ordinance, then we're opening back.
I know what you're saying, and I agree that, you know, we all want to see the restaurants getting open again and the bars, because these people are really hurting. And we've been trying to do things with supplying them funds. However, you know, it's so erratic and so confusing what different towns are doing based on this order, that I think it's important that to our, especially our restaurants and bars that are making most of their revenue off of being open, having people go inside, that we kind of give them back that leeway. You've always had the option to take it back, and if you don't follow the social distancing and what we originally put this in effect for. Again, I don't like to go against the governor's rules, but it seems like it's a rule that no one's paying attention to anyway.
And Chief, I'm not for sure, but did they turn the gambling machines back on too with this?
I think IGB was supposed to turn the machines on. I believe they're on.
So they've loosened their restrictions too. And the casinos too, haven't they?
Casinos are open again,
Casinos are open, okay, so that's everything.
and they're all under different rules. Some are open till 11, some are open till 6 in the morning, so there's no real defined case of how you do it.
Yeah, the only thing that's good is things are dropping, and that's what we all want to hear. You know, we want to see that come down.
I agree with it. I'm just afraid of the circle. 'Cause it seems like that's what.
Yeah,
we
well,
dropped
and
we gotta do
that's
this again.
entirely possible, that could,
Oh, it
you know,
just
come
seems like a
back.
circle to me.
Yeah. All right, well, there's, item 2 is, we need to either pass or deny this, so,
What's the first read?
yeah, okay.
If it's a first read and we wait till the second read, by then it might be null and void.
Okay,
In 2 weeks, we could be down to phase 4 and it won't matter.
all right.
I
That's
think
just
if we're
my
gonna do
opinion.
it now or 2 weeks, 2 weeks more and then being shut
I'll
down.
make the
we
motion
can
that
have-
we repeal ordinance 20-1999. Let these businesses open up.
Okay, we need a
I'll
second.
second.
Okay.
Include waiver of second read then, trustee DeBolt.
Diane, can you do roll call, please?
We're waiving the second read, is that the motion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Silverman.
Brockman?
Thank you, trustee DeBolt.
Yes. Luciano?
Yes,
Warren?
Yes.
DeBold?
Yes.
Kirkland?
No.
And Anderson?
Yes. Well, item 2 passes, and that'll businesses can reopen their hours to 2 a.m. All right, number 3, consideration for approval of a bid award and contract for 2 Grandiose CBS Inc. in the amount of $70,066 for pump replacements at both the Fields and River Road lift stations and waive the bid process. Noriel, there you are.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
trustee. Good evening, everyone. What you have before you, as you can see, is that we are having some issues with our current lift station over at the River Road, named the River Road lift station. We are also having issues with the Fields lift station there for our sanitary sewer pumping. Now, each one are with the pumps manufactured by KJI. It's a Korean manufacturer, installed in the around the 2006-2007 timeframe. So these pumps are about 14 years old. During our preventive maintenance, we noticed that the pumping capacities at all of the pumps, 3 over at River Road, 2 at Fields, are losing capacity. They're working harder than they should. Parts are not available anymore, pumps are obsolete. The recommendation is to replace all the pumps. So, mind you, the quote is for what we're recommending is Grundfos in the amount of $70,066 for each of the lift stations. Grundfos does have a 60-month warranty. It is prorated. Full replacement under the first 18 months, and then, of course, percentage-wise, discounted parts and labor for the remainder of the 60 months. Lead time for the pumps are about approximately 15 to 17 weeks. That's probably because of the COVID situation. Normally, it is around 10 to 12 weeks. So commitment of this today will push this into the next fiscal budget and would be committed in the next fiscal budget. Do you have any questions?
And they're putting these in for us.
I'm sorry?
They're putting the pumps in for us.
That is correct. Includes installation.
Like a big sump pump.
Very big sump pump with impellers.
So we're not worried about failure at this point?
We are.
So that
The
15
River Road
weeks
is especially where we're worried. We have 3 pumps over at the River Road. It services Westminster, Walnut Trails, Town Center, Lake Forest, Shorewood Glen, and about 30% a portion of Kipling Estates.
All 3
One
pumps
pump
are
is
bad.
currently working at its full capacity. The other 2 are pushing down to about 300 to 450 gallons per minute. We are at low flow today. We expect to remain at low flow during the winter months. But come March, April, we expect with the snow melting, the rains coming, infiltration into our system, the flow is going to start increasing. Staff is practicing and developing an emergency plan in case we need to install an outside pump during that emergency situation.
And you're gonna do that this week, you're gonna run your practice
This
run.
coming week,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Now, this wasn't a budgeted item, I don't recall, no. So where the money is where? Just out of a,
Well, it's going to be committed in the next fiscal budget.
okay.
We won't have to expend the funds until after that anyway, right? If it's going to take 4 months to get them?
That is correct.
Okay.
I also talked to Mr. Noriega yesterday, that new development that's going over at 55 and 80. I'm not exactly sure. I'd like to see on a map where our discharge goes to Joliet at, but I'm not too comfortable with 100,000-pound scrapers running over the top of it. And that's where, I'm thinking that's where exactly they're at. And so we got to be aware that they don't crush the line over there. I don't know what it's made out of. I don't remember that, but it's been a long time. But to me, it looks like their path is right down the pipeline.
Yeah.
So we better keep an eye on that, and, or what we're trying to pump here won't have a place to go.
Right.
Well, our force main runs underneath I-55 and connects into a structure just east of I-55. The line that they're running over is actually owned by the Joliet Interceptor. That's where we connect to, but it only services us. So yes, we are still keeping an eye on it. It may not mean much to Joliet except that, someone crushes their pipe, but that's a significant amount of our connection into their system. So
I can remember some kind of negotiations we had with that farm over there. We were right by the fence line, so many feet off the fence line, and like I say, it's been a long time ago, but I remember running down the edge of that fence line, and that's exactly where that trail is, and then they're bringing up 150 loads a day, 100,000 pounds a load, and, on top of that pipe, man, that's scary to me.
Yeah.
So,
Have you had any contact with anybody over there in that construction?
yeah, our
site?
staff is actually in contact with them once, twice a week, just to confirm. We do remark our lines, we do open up the manholes, we do inspect.
Okay. You're confident things are okay right now?
We are watching it. There are concerns, but we are watching it.
Okay.
thank you.
And thanks for pointing that out, Steve.
Force main.
I'd have to go look. I don't know. I have to confirm and get back to you on that.
All right, we need a motion to approve the $70,066, so.
So moved.
Second.
That waives the public bidding process also.
Okay.
And waive the public bidding process also.
Second again.
Luciano,
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
And DeBold.
Yes.
All right, item number 3 is passed. Item 4, consideration of approval of a purchase and payment for a 2021 Peterbilt single-axle plow truck with equipment from JX Truck Center in the Bonnell Industries in the amount not to exceed $215,000. Mr. Noriel.
Well, thank you. Again, I am now asking for a new truck. So the 2021 Peterbilt single axle chassis plow truck, stainless steel bed snow plow equipment will replace a 2005 International. The 2005 International, again, is about 15 years old, beginning to show wear, rust under the body. Again, we use it for our snow plow operation, so it does get a lot of use, especially in the winter months, loaded with salt. It's got a little bit under 50,000 miles, but, and again, it's one of our last steel beds. I think we have 4 Internationals left, and I think 3 of them still have the steel bed to it. So, of course, we're replacing it with the Peterbilt with the stainless steel bed. We have budgeted $225,000 in this current budget. This we put on hold temporarily earlier last year just to see how the budgets were coming into play, especially with the COVID situation, and then again with Wave 2. Now that budgets look favorable, we're now requesting to make this purchase. It is a 6 to 9 month process in terms to manufacture the vehicle, so anything ordering today, we don't expect to get it until September, October, November next year, right before the winter. The new purchase, we looked at new purchase versus used. Of course, also a demo unit. But again, with the state bid price, it's heavily discounted. So any used equipment that it would meet our standard would be already, purchased at manufacturer suggested retail price. Our discounted price would probably still beat any used price for anything that would be considered comparable. All of our trucks in our system, in our fleet, besides the remaining International trucks, are all moving toward the Peterbilt with the Bonnell upfitting for the snow plow equipment and such. So we're asking again with the idea that, the Sourcewell, the government pricing for Peterbilt versus Kenworth versus International, the differences is negligible. We are requesting, of course, the purchase of the Peterbilt in the amount not to exceed $215,000. Any questions for me?
No, like you said earlier, this was budgeted in our public works budget last February, so it is on the scheduled to be bought and the old one replaced. And that's what, how many routes we got? 15?
We have 10 routes.
10 routes.
We have 10 plow trucks.
10 plow trucks, okay.
The last truck we bought attachments that could be interchanged on the bodies. Was
with
it
our-
Peterbilt truck, the last one we got?
Yes, we got a
So
Peterbilt.
attachments are interchangeable with this new one?
With just the blade, not the actual mounts of the truck itself, but like the blades, the outfitting of such, yes, we can interchange some of those attachments.
But the other truck, we could change the dump part and everything, right?
He's referring to the hook list.
2017, we had the interchangeable V-box, and that was a special make on that one. I hate to say something that I might be incorrect, but that one is special at V-box. We won't be able to change this steel bed with that V-box.
Okay, so
That's what you're
the
asking.
attachments you have for that truck only can be used on that truck we bought last time?
Correct.
Okay.
Questions?
I think you're referencing the 2017 Peterbilt. Am I
Yeah.
correct? I think that was the last time we bought a plow truck.
And then I think it had three different boxes.
That is correct. So this will not be able to be interchanged.
All right, we need a motion to approve this.
All right, I'll make the motion. For approval of purchase and payment for a 2021 Peterbilt single axle plow truck with equipment from JX Truck Center in Bonneville, or Bonnell, whatever, Industries in the amount not to exceed $215,000.
Second.
Roll call, Diane.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Brockman, Warren,
Yes.
and DeBold.
Yes.
All right, item
Thank you.
4 is approved. Item 5, consideration for approval of a purchase and payment in the amount of $25,393.62 for 2 Cisco 48-port catalyst switches with a 3-year warranty, Cisco stack kit, power supply, and cables from Current Technologies. Mr. Collada.
Thank you. So these switches are important for the operability of our computer network. They allow different devices to speak to one another, very critical equipment. And we're learning recently that basically the useful life here has been exhausted. It will not be supported from a maintenance standpoint in the coming months. And as a result, staff is recommending we acquire this. Ensure the security and the integrity of our network system.
All right. Pretty self-explanatory to keep our network going. Anybody have any questions?
Make the motion to buy the Cisco switches for $25,393.62.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
DeBold, Warren,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
All right, number 5 is approved. Number 6, consideration for approval of a purchase and payment in the amount of $28,523.99 for sand storage with additional Dell networking fixed ports for Village Hall from Current Technologies. Mr. Collada.
Thank you. Again, this is another very important piece of our computer network. It's the storage for the data for not only, for all departments really in some form or fashion. Again, this is another piece of equipment that to extend its useful life and not just here in a couple months.
Okay. And so once
I'll
again-
make the motion for $28,523.99 for sand storage from Current Technologies.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
and Brockman.
Yes.
All right, item 6 is passed. Number 7, consideration for approval of professional fee deposit refund with water meter refunds in the amount of $5,022 to Crossroads Management at 102 West Jefferson. Kelly, Chrissy, hello.
Good evening. I realize that you can't see me smiling behind my mask, but yet I continue
We can
to
see
do
it.
Oh, wonderful. So what you have before you is a refund that is pretty typical with construction projects. At the beginning, we request a professional fee deposit. And at the end, when a project is closed out, we will refund that. You also have, coupled with the professional fee deposit refund, is a refund for water meters. This project, when the permit was issued, paid for 7 water meters and only 4 were utilized. So 3 water meters will be refunded in terms of the cost, with a total refund of $5,022. Happy to answer any questions.
This isn't something we usually see, correct?
That's correct. Normally, it's listed on the list of bills.
It's just being called out.
Well, I figured that, and so that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Jim, is there anything else you have on that, or?
No,
okay.
I was just gonna comment the same thing, that, you know, this is pretty common for development.
Yeah.
I'm just happy the darn thing's done.
This just for the water meter refunds?
So it's both the professional fee deposit as well as the 3 water meters.
What about the middle building?
It's
Does
not,
that apply?
So that actually does not apply. However, when a permit comes in for construction of that 3rd building, then we will require another professional fee deposit likely, and then the other permit fees.
that would be a whole project on its own.
Perfect.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve 7.
I move to approve a professional fee deposit refund and water meter refunds in the amount of $5,022 to Crossroads Management.
Second.
Roll call.
DeBold,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Anderson,
Pass.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
All right, thanks, everybody. That's our 7 agenda items. We're done with that. We'll move on to trustee reports. And I'm up first with Public Works. First up is we had some snow and ice events on 115-21 and 117-21. We were out, we did about 279 tons of salt, 2,420 gallons of brine treatment. That's pre-treating the roads, by the way. Other things going on is tree trimming. That's what we're doing this time of year. We've been hitting the Edgewater subdivision fields of Shorewood, River and Sile Road area, and estates of Hidden Creek. And I think some of this is repeats of the last couple of meetings. So item number 3 was we had a water main break at 607 Park Shore. We had 51 houses that were affected. And there was a boil order for 24 hours on that, and that all worked out and was fine. And last week, move on to Westcom. Last week we had a Westcom meeting. It was virtual. Passed the budget. Our police monthly fees with the police department, based on their calls, is down a little bit. So our monthly fee is going to drop about $660 right now. So that's a little bit of a decrease. With the low interest rates that everybody has, been taking advantage of, Westcom and Shanahan, who holds the bond on the building for Westcom, back in the day, if you remember, they bonded out for the loan because they were home rule at the time. Anyway, we refinanced the debt with Westcom and Shanahan, and that was a savings of $182,000 approximately. So that is going to see about a $9,100 per agency reduction in our cost of, operating. So not a lot of money for 20 agencies, but it is still a savings of $9,100. And then the last thing that was brought up by some of the executive board members was this House Bill 3653. I think most of you are probably familiar with it. Some board members were brought to us and wanted to talk about possibly drafting a letter on behalf of the agencies, fire and police, and the villages, and be drafted by Westcom, stating they're unhappy with the way it was passed at the 11th hour. Some of the things, the items in there some things in there are good, and needed, and other things are not so good, and could become very costly and cumbersome for villages and towns with having to deal with police departments and policing. So it's just kind of a blessing from the board, if possible, that we go along drafting this letter. Chief Klima is the one who will end up being the one who's going to be the author of the letter, if it gets passed, and on behalf of Westcom. I do want to thank Mark Batnick and Meg Capel for voting against this at the House Bill 3653, because they listened to us and went, voted against it because, it wasn't what we thought was the right thing in all of what was, in that bill. Some of it was the good stuff and other stuff is just not. And Chief, would you like to come up and maybe talk a little bit more about this?
So we could talk all night about it, but this is the bill, 764 pages. I read the whole thing this weekend. I wore out 2 highlighters. The point is that there's so much in here that there's no way this should have happened the way it happened. I've never seen a piece of legislation, and I'm sure there's been another time, but to present this to senators and or senators specifically at 3 o'clock in the morning to vote at 4 o'clock in the morning when the night before it was 150 pages shorter, I don't understand it. Mr. Anderson said that it's not all bad, and it's not all, and I agree with that. There's many things in here that the police chiefs and the sheriffs and all the law enforcement associations supported and asked for. There's been years and months and years of dialogue about many of the things that were in here. It's just unfortunate that so many of that was dismissed at the last minute. There was no ability to work in conjunction, and some of the things that the chiefs and the sheriffs had gone and specifically testified to were dismissed, and this was passed in the wee hours of the morning. So it does affect us in many ways. It'll affect us operationally. It'll affect the way that we can effectively keep the community safe. I can talk about multiple operational problems, multiple ways of enforcement, cash bail. There's been some very highlighted aspects of this in the press with body-worn cameras and use of force and all those sorts of things, okay? So to Mr. Anderson's point, there are many organizations that are crafting letters, or I think there have been some municipalities that have actually done board resolutions. Whatever you're comfortable with or want to do, we can certainly support and prepare something for your consideration at the next meeting. It's entirely up to you. If you have questions about the bill or if you want other bullet points, I can be brief if you want. I don't want to take any more time if you don't want to hear it tonight.
So what we're asking is if this board is willing to support a letter to go with the 20 agencies or 19 with us at Westcom.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, Chief, you got our answer there?
I'll have one for you next meeting.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
That's all I have under my report. Trustee Brockman?
Thank you, Dan. Next meeting will be on February 3rd, and I apologize, Kelly. I know we have 2 agenda items, and Kelly had a nice report, and I must have left it on my desk because I can't find it, so. But there's 2 agenda items up on February 3rd. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Trustee Kirkland, Parks and Rec.
Thank you. Priority registration for the community garden has been mailed to 2020 participants. Open registration begins on March 15th. The Spring Village newsletter will be out next month. Digital copies will be available on the village website. And be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the village Facebook, Instagram, and Constant Contact for village updates and news about special events and programming. And hopefully we will actually have some special events and programming in '21. That's the goal. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to have a festival this year with the way they're talking. That may still be out of the picture, huh? Is that maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Okay. All right, well, that's the end of the meeting. If anybody, we need a...
Citizens Advisory.
Oh,
Oh,
Trustee
sorry.
Luciano, forget about Tony.
I don't have that much.
Wow.
I just wanted to mention that the Citizens Advisory Committee meeting was canceled for January 28th. I'm hoping that we'll be able to have a in-person meeting in February, which would be February 25th. And as always, if anyone's interested in getting involved with the committee, you can contact myself or any members on the village website under the Citizens Advisory Committee. Thank you.
All right, now that's the end of the meeting, and we're in line for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
A roll call?
Who said second? DeBold,
Yes.
Warren, Brockman,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're adjourned. We do have a committee of the